This is Jeff and Jesse back with you again for Movies to Be Murdered By. Really excited to come to you again on this Friday, and just really want to share something a lot different with all of you this week. So Jesse, how are you today?
All right. I'm hanging in there. I think we're all doing the proverbial best we can, given the
Absolutely.
given the weird, surreal circumstances outside. I mean, really, it's like, I kind of feel like we're living through, I don't want to invoke his name, but it's become like synonymous with like surreality, David Lynch,
Hmm?
because at least in my town, people are acting a fool. They just really
Yes.
are. No one is being courteous. I'm sorry, except for like my beloved neighbors on my block. Other than that, it's like all bets are off. And it's I saw a meme actually. Someone had come up with a meme of Heath Ledger's The Joker, that little bit where he's telling Batman that um, these people who are so moral and always do the right thing will just abandon their morals and act a fool and act crazy and eat each other at the slightest hint of chaos and anarchy. And that was his point in like the whole trying to get the two boats to blow each other up.
Right.
And someone laid that audio track over videos of people literally acting just wilding out, like three women literally pulling each other's hair over the last case of toilet paper, people in a pharmacy fist fighting each other over some product. It was just wild to watch it. And I kind of feel like that's the society that we're living in. There are lots of lovely people doing plenty of loving things for the people in need, but I don't know, my mood is kind of like, I don't want to go outside, and not just for fear of the virus, but also for fear of just the nastiness I've seen and encountered during this time. It's just blech. So
Yeah.
that's a long answer. As usual, that's a long answer to your short question.
No, I feel the exact same way. I went to the store yesterday, and I don't know why I thought it was so simple, and it kind of brought me into reality. But I go to the store and I'm looking for hand soap, and there's no hand soap anywhere. And I ended up going to 6 different stores, and I did not find any hand soap. The only thing that I found was it was Dawn dish detergent that had anti, whatever it is, but it had hand soap on that bottle. And I said, well, I guess this will have to do for now. And I'm looking for alcohol, I'm looking for hand sanitizer, which there is none anywhere. So um and then I just started thinking, like, this is like something out of a movie that I never thought I would be in, but it's reality right now. And it's not just reality in South Carolina, it's not just reality in New York, but it's reality everywhere. And it's something that I don't think any of us in our wildest imaginations would ever have thought would happen in our lifetime. And to see people, just grabbing up toilet paper and paper products by the armful, completely disregarding anything that anyone else needs, just shows the sad state of humanity in some cases. And not everyone is like that, but my goodness, we have a lot of people who are just about themselves and don't give a damn about anybody else but themselves. And shame on people like that who just are in it for themselves and don't realize that there are other people struggling with this too, and other people need toilet paper. I mean, you can't use 148 rolls of toilet paper by yourself, but you know, here you are buying all of these, you know, different cases of paper. So yeah, I'm right there with you, and it's really easy to get down during this
Yes,
time because everything that we see right now, there's not a lot of positivity going on. You have to really, and in some cases, you really have to search for the positivity. So it's really difficult to maintain a good mental state right now. So that's why that's why we feel like it's important to keep, you know, our podcast going, because
absolutely.
maybe, you know, however long it lasts, if it's 30 minutes, an hour, whatever it is, maybe that's a 30-minute or an hour time frame where people can kind of escape the reality of what's going on outside and um, just kind of let their minds roam and think about something else. So
I completely agree with you because, to be honest, I just been feeling so down this week. I'm just gonna put it out there.
yeah,
I just been feeling so goddamn down, and part of me, was thinking like, I just need to regroup before I get back on. And I'm like, no, that's the whole point of entertainment. And I mean, for the people listening, we are here for you. We are here to hopefully, like Jeff said, entertain you, distract you, um, kind of engage you in another little world that you may not have, you may not come to by yourself or have anyone to chat about with, on your own. And on a side note, Jeff, as when all of this started, I went through the same exact situation with the soap, and I ended up buying. You and I are so similar. It's not even funny. It is funny. I ended up buying Dawn antibacterial dish detergent.
yes,
Because I was like, this is all I can find.
yep,
I better snatch this up because this is not even going to be around. I bet in 5 minutes this is going to be gone.
hmm
But yeah, I think, as you said, I don't think any of us. I mean, in terms of movies and books, blogs, zines, podcasts. Sure, we all talk about um, the apocalypse. We have all been obsessed with dystopian futures now since, my goodness, for over 10 years, right? Like
yeah,
the magnitude of the Hunger Games, the Walking Dead, all that stuff. But to go through a pandemic, a worldwide pandemic where people are dying, and oof, like like you said, in our wildest dreams, I don't think we could have expected that to happen for real. I mean, the smartest among us maybe, or the most scientific among
yeah.
us maybe would have predicted it. But I think lay people are they're just bugging out. So let's bug out. Let's bug out on some movies now, and
Absolutely.
put all that world behind us.
Yes, yes, let's do it. So I have to give you credit, a lot of credit, because this week we're going to talk about something that's really fun, and I'll let you introduce that to all of our listeners.
Okay, so guys, we thought this week we'd just kind of have some fun, but also kind of, take a chill, because definitely we are two people who can really get into something and take it to the 10th level, in terms of, like, the funniness, the analysis. So we thought this week we'd have a little, like, uh, a little fun movie chat about our picks of the week, and about our um, about how we watch movies. Like, how do we watch movies? And I don't mean that any deeper than than what I'm saying. What are our movie watching habits? Like, what do we eat? How do we, where do we usually watch our movies? So Jeff and I are going to tell you a little bit about. We're going to take you on the inside, behind the scenes,
Yes,
and behind the music, and talk about how it is that we watch movies, and then just have like a little chat on our picks of the week. So Jeff, if you do, you want to start, or do you want me to start?
yeah, I can start. That's fine.
Cool.
That's fine. So for me, I like complete darkness in the room when I'm watching a movie. No lights on, no screen other than the TV. So all of my other devices are, shut off, or I at least have my phone kind of turned over so I can't see the screen if it lights up. And for me, this is going to sound a little weird, but if you give me a nice, big, huge cup of ice water and some popcorn, uh, doesn't matter what kind of popcorn it is, but some popcorn and some chocolate of some sort, I'm good to go. And I have this one recliner that I like to sit in, and I recline it as far back as it'll go. And I just start watching my movies, and I really like that experience because it's almost like being in a movie theater, but you're the only person there. And I've had the fortunate experience of being in a movie theater where it was just me there watching a movie, and that was a really cool experience for me. So I try to recreate that whenever I'm watching at home. But I like to just kind of lounge back and just chill and try not to think about anything else for however long that movie lasts, just so I can really engulf myself in that storyline, in that world, and really be an active participant in the movie, so I can fully understand what's going on, and then have a thought about it after the movie so I can provide analysis if I'm asked about it, or say to someone, hey, you should really check out this movie. It was awesome, and this was my experience with it. So yeah, that's my movie watching experience. What about you?
Wait, let me ask you, blanket or no blanket?
Um, Most of the times, no blanket.
Mm-hmm.
Although I will have to say there are some times where I will bring out a blanket, but um, that's for the extremely long movies. So something like The Irishman, where that movie, I don't even remember how long it was. I know
Oh Lord, it's
it
like
was
3 days long.
yeah, it was long. And basically any Quentin Tarantino movie. um, so yeah, in those cases, yeah, blanket for sure.
Yeah.
But
Does
you know,
that make you more susceptible to falling asleep during the movie if you have a
yes,
blanket?
yes. That's why I rarely do it, because once I get comfortable like that, I'm gonna go to sleep. There's no way around it. I'm definitely going to sleep. So I try to avoid that at all cost.
Nice.
That's more of my TV watching, like if I'm binging a show
Yeah.
that
Oh
I've
yeah. Okay.
already seen. So if I'm watching episodes of The Office,
Mm-hmm.
I'm reclined in my recliner and I've got my blanket on. And if I fall asleep, it's fine, because I've seen every episode of The Office and How I Met Your Mother and some of those shows for at least, I've seen at least, seen the series at least 10 times. So I'm not
Wait,
missing
Office
anything.
Office UK or Office US?
US.
Okay.
Yes. Michael Scott. Team Michael Scott.
Michael's okay. Nice. All right. Um, I'm trying to think of any other. I feel like I just had a question on the tip of my tongue to ask you. Oh, okay. So movie habits, though, at the movie when you're at the movie theater. I
Hmm.
know you said that what you do at home, you try to like emulate, mimic basically what goes on in the movie theater. But are
Hmm.
there any differences? Being is that you are at a theater out in public, and it's obviously the seats are different, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, only the size of the popcorn. That's it. That's really it. The 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 popcorn bucket. Whenever I go to the movies, I have to get the biggest bucket of popcorn that they have. I don't know why I have to do that, because it's expensive as crap. But I always have to get the biggest popcorn bucket that they have, and I still, they don't necessarily give you big cups of ice water, so you get the bottle of ice water. I mean, the bottle of water. And sometimes I'll ask for a cup of ice, and they still charge me an arm and a leg for it. But not really. I mean, other than the fact that the seats don't recline as much. In some cases, I know where I am now, the seats don't recline as much. But when I was living in New York, the seats would recline really, really far back. So that I really enjoyed that experience. So not a lot different, but just a tad.
Nice. All right, I can see that. That sounds very comfortable and
Yeah,
well tailored to to your personality.
yeah. And I keep my shoes on in the theater. I don't do that at home. Some
Something.
people like that. Some people get really comfortable in the theater, and
Yeah,
I'm
it's
just,
weird.
it's weird. Like they take their shoes and socks off. I'm like, okay, we're not at home.
Yeah.
We're in a public place. I will not, I will not put anyone through my shoes and socks being off. That I'm just not going to do that to anyone.
Yeah, you didn't pay $15 to sit next to somebody's smelly feet. You know what I
Not
mean?
at all.
Like,
Not at all. And I mean, I'm smart enough to realize that some days are tough days and you have sweaty feet and they don't smell great.
so
So
you leave
I'm
your
not,
shoes on.
yeah, you leave your shoes on. I'm not going to make someone go through that experience and be like, that movie was awesome, but man, the guy next to me, his feet were awful.
Did you ever have to like? Have you had to Have you ever had to kind of like? I hate to use this expression, but like bitch someone out, like at the movie theater for like inappropriate behavior or just being like uncouth or, for anything at all.
On two occasions.
Okay.
One, I
Can you
had to,
remember what? Wait, can you remember what movie you were watching?
that's a good question.
If not, no big deal. But
Um, let's see, the Joker,
okay.
the new Joker movie.
Uh huh.
I had a bunch of kids sitting behind me, and they were being loud the entire movie.
Oh no.
And well, at least the first 30 minutes of it. And at one point, I turned around and I said, look, I realize that this movie theater and coming here, it's a $2.50 movie, which is awesome. Um, I said, I realize that it's only $2.50, but I really need you guys to stop ruining the movie for me because I kind of want to see it. And the one kid gives me a little bit of lip, and the other kid was like, "Man, I don't think he's playing. So we might want to move or do something else." So that was one case. The other, I'm trying to think of what movie it was. It might have been Us.
Oh
Um,
man, these are two movies that you don't want interrupted too.
exactly,
That
exactly.
stinks.
And this couple was sitting in front of me, and they're basically like making out the entire time, and
During
which
Us?
during Us, which yeah, which hey,
Oh, Lord.
their prerogative. If they needed to sneak away and make out in a movie theater, hey, more power to them.
Oh, I
But
guess.
yeah, I know. But I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I can move up and not see what's going on behind me, or
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to worry about it, or I can just sit here and have them ruin the entire movie for me. So I didn't say anything to them, did not want to disturb their good time, so I moved up and finished watching the movie. And then when the movie was over, I'm getting ready to leave, and the guy is like, "Hey man, I'm really sorry. Today's
Oh,
our
wow.
he's like, today's our 5th anniversary, and we snuck out for lunch breaks, and we've got 4 kids at home, and he explained it to me. So I kind of, in a way, I felt bad, but I also understood, because at the time I was married, so I was like, okay, I'll give that to you. So yeah, those are my two experiences with that.
Well, you're a lot more patient than most people. I give you credit. Your
I,
instinct was right, though, about the couple.
Yeah. Yeah. I was
Yeah.
like, I don't necessarily want to see this, for many different reasons I didn't want to see that, but especially not the fact that here I am at a movie that I'd been clamoring to see for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Yeah.
And, I'm here to dissect it as much as I can and catch everything that Jordan Peele throws at us. And, I'm sitting here watching two people make out, but, you know,
That's funny.
okay. So your movie watching habits.
All right. At home, my movie watching habits are actually kind of similar to yours. Definitely, I have to pull down every last shade. I have to pull down all the shades. It has to be dark, like not a glare from any like incoming light. We have like one of I forget what they're called. Oh, it's a sectional sofa. So like one part is like the long like part that you lay down on kind of thing.
Oh
So
yeah.
I usually take if no one's home, which was the case, I'd watch a movie now and then when my son was at school. I would close all the shades and then get myself on the couch comfortable. I have a neck pillow. It's actually my son's. I got it for him for once when we drove down to I think it was to North Carolina, and I got him that so that he would be really comfortable in the car, and if he fell asleep then he wouldn't have like a neck cramp or whatever. But it's so darn comfortable that I put that thing on and I look like I got whiplash. It's so super dorky. Like you just imagine like opening the door with that thing on. People being like, what is going on in this house? So yeah, so it's a dorky neck pillow. I will sometimes have a plushie with me. Most of the times not, but I do have some really cool plushies. I went through like a short phase where I was like, oh, these are, you know, I was just finding at Barnes and Nobles and like other random stores, like I'm not really like into toys, but there are just these plushies that looked really modern and cool. So sometimes I would have one with me while I was watching a movie. Like you, I have like all devices, set to, dark or dim. As as a parent, like you can't really like keep your phone off. So I would keep my phone like on vibrate so I don't hear it at least. And then in terms of like snacks and foods, I don't really need to eat during a movie. And this is at home. I'm talking about home. We'll talk about the movie theater in a minute because that's a totally different experience. But at home, I don't really need to have any snacks. I do like to also have like a huge cup of ice water, um, just because I get thirsty like crazy. And that's about it. It's pretty boring. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I just kind of chill on the couch with that embarrassing neck pillow, maybe a stuffed plushie, and just relax and enjoy a movie. At
Now,
the
is there a
oh
prime time of the day that you like to watch movies at home? Do you have like I really like to watch movies at this time, or is it just whenever you get time?
oh it's just whenever I get time, and more often than not, it's the reality. I mean, because that's my ideal situation, right? Because we have the big screen TV and everything. But the reality is if I'm lucky, then I'm watching a movie on my iPhone in bed with everybody in the house asleep with my earbuds on, because that's just the reality. Like
Right.
at that point, like if I have it on in the living room, I don't, my son is a sound sleeper, but like I don't want to tempt fate. My husband will wake up if he hears it, then it's like I'm in the living room with earbuds on. It's just like not a fun time. So really my reality is like, under my blanket, like, laying on my side watching my phone. But the ideal and what, like I said, what I used to be able to do now and again when he was in school was hang out in the living room. So yeah, it's just a matter of whatever time I get, honestly. Lately, when I watch movies, it's late. It's like after everybody's asleep. So yeah. But the theater experience is a lot of fun. My home theater, which is like my second home, which I don't even want to get into because it's crushing me that I can't be there. But is the Alamo. I have an Alamo that's about 10 minutes near my house, which I'm extremely fortunate for. And it's, like I said, it's my home away from home. I go there so many times during the week. And when I'm there, that's a whole different ball game. I have to eat when I'm there to watch a movie. And they have the best menu. On their menu is their crispy buffalo cauliflower. And I gotta tell you, it's incredible. And God bless them. I mean, people must have been clamoring for it online because they have just released the recipe for their crispy
Wow.
buffalo, cauliflower. It's so delicious. I would tell anybody, and I'm not a vegetarian or anything. It's just amazing. And thank God the Alamo is like really cares about their patrons. They release the recipe so that people can make it at home because they're like, we know that you guys have been missing this, so here it is.
I'm jealous right now. I mean, do they have a lot of different foods on their menu, not just popcorn and the normal?
It's a full menu. Like
Oh
they
my
like
gosh.
yeah, like they don't have like it's not like steak. I mean, not that I know, at least not the one near me, but it's burgers, it's chicken, it's all the appetizers you think. It's a full bar. It's a full menu of beer. It's a full
Holy
menu
crap.
of like shakes, milkshakes, desserts, popcorn, everything. It's got everything. The deal with, and I should back this up because not everybody knows about the Alamo. The Alamo is a small chain of movie theaters, although it's getting bigger and every day, that started out in Austin, Texas, as most wonderful things do. And it's a full service movie theater, meaning you go there, you get a menu, you order a full meal, dinner, like I said, dinner, drinks, alcoholic drinks, desserts. You write it down on a piece of paper. You stick that piece of paper standing up on the lip of the bench table in front of you. A waiter comes by, grabs your order, puts the order into the kitchen, comes back during the movie or before the movie, it depends on when you put the order in, and serves you, and you get a full meal so that you can eat while you're watching the movie. Now, the other cool thing about the Alamo is that you are not allowed to talk or act a fool in the theaters, and it's strictly enforced. So they've got a one strike and you're out policy.
Mm.
So you get a you get a warning if somebody complains about you. You get a warning, and then if you get another complaint, they throw you out.
That's
Which
awesome.
I like that. I mean, to be honest with you, I've yet to ever see that enforced, but I like that it's at least in promise.
Right.
It's like they're really not messing around. And so when I go there, I always get the crispy buffalo cauliflower. I get an order of fries because they have really good fries. I get this is how silly it gets. I have to have a cup of ice water, and I have to have a cup of seltzer water because I have to drink seltzer water wherever I am if I'm out. So and then like one time I also I had my kid with me, and we ordered cookies, and I really like to have cookies with milk. So I had a cup of milk also. So
There you go.
3 drinks. And the waiter walked by and did a double take and just was like, and kept walking. I was like, yeah, don't worry about it. It's all right.
We're all good here, we're
Yeah,
all good
we're all
here,
okay.
friend.
Yeah.
We're good. We're
Yeah,
good.
basically I'm a large child, so don't worry about it.
That's fascinating though. Like I've been to one theater that had a meal like that, but it definitely wasn't like a chain or anything like that. So I'm jealous right now. I'm really jealous.
Yeah. When you come to visit, definitely have to come to visit sometime, and then we'll go have a movie marathon at the Alamo when
Yes.
everything calms down. My friend Rosalie, the old sport from Movie Drawn, we did that actually. She came up to visit, and we went to a theater in New York City, and then we also saw a movie at the Alamo. She had never been, and she's from Philadelphia, but they don't have one there yet. To my, it's a no-brainer, but whatever. And she just loved it. It's just such a nice experience, and it doesn't feel like a chain at all. It feels like this is the only one of its kind.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And they show all kinds of movies. So it's like, I've seen Valley Girl, which is like one of my top 5 movies. I've seen that movie there like 2 or 3 times. I've seen all kinds of, I watched Terminator 2 there twice. They show all kinds of really obscure movies, and then just older movies. And then obviously they show all the new movies. So I'll stop being an advertisement for the Alamo right now. It's just that I really, really miss going there.
Wow.
That's my number one place to go. Like that's where I go. Like that's like I see more movies there than I see at home. And that's like my comfort place. So I am not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. And coming around full circle, there was a time where I had to give a couple of people a talking to at the Alamo, like because we were there to watch Kill Bill. Okay, Kill Bill to me is a sacred movie. We'll
Yes.
talk about this some other time, like maybe if we ever do an episode on like, genre, just other genre movies, but it is a sacred, holy movie to me. Everyone who knows me knows this. And the Alamo they don't do Quentin Tarantino movies too often, but when they do it right. They'll get a print from him. They'll get like a 35 millimeter print from him and show it. And that's what was happening with this.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and it was a sold out. It's one of their huger theaters that they had it in, and it was sold out. There was not a seat to be had. And the last time I saw this movie in the theater was back in 2003 when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting right there. I've got my hands, nice in my lap. My little ankles are crossed and swinging. I'm a very happy little girl waiting for my movie to come on. And these people to my left are just chit-chatting away. I'm like, all right, they're chit-chatting. It's fine. The movie hasn't started yet. They'll stop soon. The movie starts and they're still chatting. So I do a light, shh, like kind of like, I'm looking at you, but I'm looking at my side. I'm not looking at you in the eye, but I'm telling you to be quiet. And then the movie it starts getting into it, and they're talking like it's just,
Like they're watching the previews.
Yeah, they're not even. They're talking like they're outside having cigarettes, just goofing around. And it is an older man and an older girl. So I know that it's like a dad and his daughter, but like the
Mm-hmm.
daughter's like in her like mid-20s, and the dad is like, like in his early 60s. And I was just like, I am not having this, not during Kill Bill. So I turned my head over and I look at both of them and I'm like, you are not going to do this right now. This is Kill Bill and you need to be quiet right this second. I just let it out. I was just not going to play. I was like, this is the last time I'm going to say this, because I was like, I'm not letting them ruin the movie. And usually after something like that, I would kind of feel kind of like bad or like embarrassed or kind of like, great, now I'm going to be like cognizant of everything these people do for the rest of the movie because I just yelled at them. Not so. I was just like, nope, you're not ruining this for me. And then I let them have it. And then I just got back to the movie and that was it. And I didn't hear a peep out of them after that.
Bet not. You let them have it.
I had to.
And good for you.
I had to. And it wasn't like I wasn't being mean. I was just like, yeah, I'm not taking any crap right now. You're not ruining this for me. But I wasn't being like, really like mean or nasty to them about it. Because I mean, there's a way to like be straightforward and strong about something and not be cruel about it. So but yeah, that was my experience, having to give someone what for during a movie.
Wow, that's awesome though.
Yeah.
See, coming from me, if I were to do something like that, because I'm a bigger guy and I'm tall, I'm pretty sure I would get kicked out of the theater because people would think I'm trying to intimidate someone. I even had someone say that one time when I was waiting for a seat. Like it was basically a sold out show, and I'm just standing there and my head's cocked to the side, and one of the employees there were like, "Sir, is everything okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm just waiting to sit down." "Well, you just looked a little agitated." I'm like, "No, I'm not agitated. I'm just wanting to get a seat." Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Just wanted to make sure. And it's like, okay, you don't have to prepare for me to lose my crap.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hurt anybody. I promise. I mean, I may be a big guy, but I'm a big teddy bear, so I'm not gonna hurt anybody unless they, come at me first.
You're not there like standing there like cracking your neck bones and cracking
No.
knuckles.
Yeah, I mean, you would think by his reaction that I was there like, yep, I'm gonna open up a can on somebody today. Who's ready for it? I mean, no, I'm just standing there with my head cocked to the side, and I'm just waiting on a seat. I don't want to hurt anybody. So, yeah, that was.
Yeah, no, I, and I actually like, there are so many times that I wish I had that, like, that effect of like, honestly, like, I mean, being like tall and large and like kind of threatening, only because it's like, to have kind of like the opposite, like you have to get clever,
Yeah.
like if you're gonna think people, like if people are gonna listen to you, you have to get clever in what you say, and a lot of times they don't listen. But you know what, who cares? Thankfully I haven't run into too many problems at the Alamo. People really respect, and they're there because they're huge movie fans.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've been into that theater so many times where you could just see like people have got the t-shirts, et cetera, or they're there, and they look so happy like to be seeing whatever movie is playing. So that's about it.
That's awesome. So you want to get to our picks of the week?
Our picks of the week.
We're gonna have to create some catchy
Yes.
music, a little jingle or something.
Yeah.
But you go ahead and you go first.
My pick of the week is a movie called Greta. It stars Isabel Huppert and Chloe Moretz. Chloe Grace Moretz.
Yes.
I always forget. I always forget the order of her name. Sorry. It was from 2018. I'm sorry, 2019, and it was directed by Neil Jordan. It was a very watchable movie. It is a horror movie, definitely, but not your typical, I guess. I want to say typical. It was more of a psychological thriller, and Isabel Huppert is just amazing in it. The way that she goes, and spoiler alert, I'm going to talk about this movie. I don't know if I'll give away the ending or whatever, but I will talk about it. She just goes from a very kindly older woman who seemingly just like, is kind of like lonely and needs a friend, to a true, psychologically truly disturbed individual who needs to be locked away. is just amazing. And it's all the little grace notes she puts on her performance, her accents, her backstory that she gives herself, that she gives her family. It's a good movie. If you like movies that have to deal more with the psychology of the relationship between two people, and how it can become stalkerish, how it becomes invasive, how it becomes threatening, how it becomes then menacing, then it becomes a true threat for the safety of the people involved, and then how it just becomes violent. And sort of in that pace, if you like that kind of a movie, I definitely recommend Greta. Is not, it wasn't like, it didn't make like didn't make a ton of dough, considering like what we consider, what we think of as, these huge box office blasts. But it did get a pretty good approval rating. And most people liked it I'd say most people were in the middle of it, in the mid, like in the middle of, yay and nay. I give it a yay. I like these kinds of movies. I think they're a lot of fun. I like the slow burn of seeing someone unravel, and watching the protagonist and how they handle it. It's like, it's the person who has, the problem, quote unquote, who's like the loud, who's like the hot spice in the food, but it's the protagonist, watching them, how they handle it and how they're reacting to it, how they're going to get themselves out of danger. All of that's what always fascinates me. So that's my pick of the week. If you watch it and you want to just shoot a quick email, please email us at movies2bemurderedby@gmail.com. Let us know what you think, and we will hit you back.
That's awesome. I'm going to watch that for sure, because now you have me intrigued. I've not
Yeah,
watched it before.
as I was talking, good, I'm glad, but like as I was talking, I'm like, I can't give away like how this all goes down, because it's like, it's clever. Isabel Huppert, her character is very clever every step of the way. So I'm like, oh, I feel kind of bad, like I want to talk about it more. Like I said before, I'm going to talk about it. No, I don't want to give it away, and there's
Yeah.
so many things to give away. So I'm just like, I'll just leave it at that.
I'm going to watch that, and I will let you know what I think, because it sounds awesome.
Yeah. Oh, I should say, trigger warning for claustrophobia.
Ooh.
And yeah, for claustrophobia, I would say.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So
Well,
what's your pick of the week?
all right. I'm going to pick Ma, the 2019 movie Ma, starring Octavia Spencer. Um,
Yay.
and it was directed by Tate Taylor. I honestly, I wanted to see this movie in theaters, and I'm not real sure why I didn't. But I'll say I had so much fun watching this movie, and I don't know why I had so much fun watching this movie.
Oh, because
But
it's a fun movie.
it is. But
It is a fun movie.
I think I had too much fun watching it.
I had a blast. I'm not even gonna lie.
It's that classic thing of what would happen if you lived in the same hometown that you went to high school in, and you picked on this kid, and when they become an adult with a kid of their own, how would that fare for you if you were the one that were picking on that kid? Um, I honestly, I really liked it. I like the way that, excuse me, I like the way that it was set up. and some of those things were revealed as we were going, and uh, I just thought that I thought it was well done. Octavia Spencer, can't say enough about her. When she turns on the crazy in this movie, she turns it on. Like she really turns it on, and really was really happy to see her play a different kind of role. I hadn't seen her in this kind of role before, so to see her play this person that when you first meet them, it's like you feel like they have the best intentions in the world, is as good as they can be for buying alcohol for high school age kids. I'll just leave it at that. But then you start to see the motivation behind all of it, and it's just, yeah, it's a great movie. I don't want to give it away for anyone because I don't want to spoil it, but what happens during the movie and seeing how we go from this seemingly nice woman who may seem like she's a little down on her luck in some ways, because she's lonely, to see what happens from that point to the end. It was just a phenomenal movie. I really enjoyed it, and some interesting parts that I'm not going to spoil. But yeah, it's a great movie, and if you get a chance, check it out. It's on Amazon Prime right now, and if you have a subscription to HBO on there, it's free, so you don't have to buy it or rent it. Which I have a subscription to HBO on there, so I've seen it a couple times. I feel like every podcast I joke about this, but I have not seen it as many times as I've seen Would You Rather. Not yet, not yet, but it may happen. But I really enjoy it. Really enjoyed the movie. I thought Juliette Lewis was good in it. The girl who plays Maggie, I believe her name is Diana Silvers. I thought she was really good in it as well. But yeah, it's a really good movie. I recommend it to anyone. I can kind of understand. It's like Greta is kind of a middle of the road reaction. It seems like you've got people that really didn't like it for whatever reason, and you've got some people who were like, "Man, this was weird, but it's really enjoyable." It was weird, not gonna lie, but it was fun. It was a fun movie. So that's my pick of the week.
That's a really good pick. Actually, that was it was, for me, choosing this week's pick was between Greta and Ma. So definitely on the same page.
And we did not discuss that
we did not discuss that.
So yeah, it just shows further that we're on the same page about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I'm starting to think we might share a brain, but I'm not quite sure.
It's possible. It's possible. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to mention that Greta, you can watch it on HBO, and I think it's also on Hulu. So if you have those, and if not, then you could just rent it on Amazon Prime. But I would recommend. Oh, I should ask you, how many headstones would you give Ma?
Out of 5, I am going to give it 3.
Okay.
No, that's not fair.
Okay.
3.5. 3.5.
Okay.
What about you for Greta? What?
I think I would do the same, actually. 3.5 headstones. It's really, I think it's really good. I think what both of these movies have to offer is that, well, one of the things that both of these movies have to offer, and one of the reasons I like them both, is the villain, quote unquote, the unstable character of each movie, these women, these older women, they start off as being likable, like very likable. And you, even through to the, you know, the climax and post climax of the movie, you almost still want to root for them. You almost still want to like them. But you can't.
Right.
And that's all I'll say, because I don't want to ruin anything for anybody. But
Yeah.
like, you just can't, you know. But that doesn't mean that throughout the film you still see qualities that you like, or you kind of are fascinated by. And then there's also the fascination with both of them, because, you know, they're these, you know, they are these monsters. You know, they're
Mm-hmm.
what makes the movie a horror movie, is them. And both of these actresses are incredible in these
Yes.
roles. I think that Octavia Spencer, as you said, did a great job being in a totally different role than what she's used to playing. Isabel Huppert, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know her career well enough. I know she's an amazing actress. I know she's been in plenty of films and has always been an acclaimed actress. I can see why. I'm glad I was exposed to her work through this movie. And yeah, I think, yeah, but I think that for the movie itself, I can't quite put my finger on it. There is something that's kind of lacking. So I would give it 3.5
Mm-hmm.
tombstones. That's for Greta. And the last question I'll ask you, Jeff, is this a tattoo movie? Meaning, for our new listeners, is this a movie that you would get tattooed on your arm?
I would not get this tattooed. And it's not anything against the film, but it just didn't. Um, it's a really good movie, but it's not tattoo worthy.
Gotcha.
What about you for both of them?
For both of them, no. I would not. I would not get um, a tattoo of either of these movies. However, I did think that it would be pretty neat to get, like, just as a tattoo, like if I were to get a tattoo of Greta, um, and this will make sense to you and to anybody who hasn't seen it, like after you've seen the movie, and to anybody who's already seen it, you'll know what I'm talking about. To get like a little handbag tattooed on my arm, but then that's also kind of a cute tattoo idea anyway. So, you know, also shout out to Ma with the sound fog. Like,
Yes.
you know, they 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 bring it, and it's a lot of fun. That's one of the things, like we were saying, like this movie is like a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
There's the song, I think the one that takes the cake, and I think it's meant to, is Lookout Weekend by Debbie Deb.
Yeah.
That song is just, I love it. It's fire. And then, you know, Funky Town is by, you know, Lips, The Safety Dance. Um, there's so many fun songs, and that's one of the reasons why Ma is like such a it's such a fun movie.
Yeah.
I, like you, I've seen it several times. I'll probably see it several more times. So yeah.
Awesome. Awesome stuff. So I guess we're gonna wrap up now and
Yep.
head out for this week. But you know, if there are movies that you would like us to break down and analyze, you know, like Jesse said, please send us an email at movies to be murdered by at gmail.com. You can also interact with us on social media. We have our Twitter account, and we also have an Instagram account now.
Yes, we are at Movies to Be Murdered By on Instagram. You can follow along there and get at us that way. Email, Twitter. Jeff, what's the Twitter? It's at 2_murdered.
Murdered. And again, that's a Twitter special. That's not something that I selected or would have selected, but you know, hey.
But yeah, definitely send us an email. We love to hear from you. We want to
Yeah.
hear if you have a movie that you want us to cover. If you just want to shoot the breeze, I mean, we're all stuck inside, right? We'd be happy to. Jeff and I will be happy to write you back. So,
Absolutely.
and I just got a new book, which is I posted on our Instagram. It's a book all about horror movies. So I'm definitely going to be going through that book and picking a few for us to dissect, for
Awesome.
us to chop and dice and stab and chew.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Well, I guess we'll reconvene for next week. And thank everyone for listening. And we're really having a blast doing this podcast. And honestly, it sometimes it's almost like I'm talking to myself, which is fun because now if I answer, it's not me talking to myself, which is great.
If I answer, it's not me in the mirror. Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Same here. And
Yeah.
I want to thank everybody who's listening. You guys are the best. Thanks so much for being part of our horror movie party.
Yes. Yes.
And stay safe and stay healthy. And
Uh,
and be kind. Be kind. Everybody be kind. I don't have to tell our listeners because our listeners rule and they are really kind people. I know that. But maybe just spread the word. Just everybody be kind because really it's enough out there.
exactly. It's hard enough as it is to have to stay inside and deal with all the chaos that comes along with a global pandemic. We don't need people being jerks in stores and doing crazy stuff. So yeah, be kind. There's no reason to not be. All right, folks. Well, take care, and we will talk to you next time.
Bye.